Since 2007, the SAG Awards have had their own Stunt Ensemble Award for motion pictures, but the Academy is finally catching up and will include a new Oscar category for achievement in stunt design, beginning with the 100th Academy Awards for movies released in 2027. There's more than 100 stunt professionals who are members of the Academy's production and technology branch. Let's welcome to the stage the following stunt coordinators who have some films in the mix this season. He's worked on such films as Fast X, Fast 9, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. He's a stunt coordinator for Sinners, and he's also a stunt performer for One Battle After Another. Andy Gill. Our next panelist is working on Steven Spielberg's sci-fi movie, the Michael Jackson biopic Michael, and Ang Lee's Old Gold Mountain. He's the stunt coordinator for One Battle After Another, Brian Machleit. Thank you, gentlemen. So I don't think a lot of people know this, but when it comes to the description of action scenes in a script, there's really no beat by beat. It's not like he takes a rope, throws it over the balcony, and then drags himself across the courtyard. You guys come up with this usually on set. Can you tell us about that in respective to, One Battle and also Sinners?
Yeah, when I come in, it's a general outline of like the vampire fight. So when you read it, you know that something's happening with these number of characters against the vampires. So I'll go in, sit down with Ryan, the director, and we'll come up with a plan that he likes and that works for us in the area that we have to work with. Ours was a two-level area, so we had to come up with something that happens upstairs, something happens downstairs for the dynamic look on film. And so it's a lot of discussions with the director to come to a point where, all right, we're gonna put a fight together, we're gonna show you all the beats, we're gonna incorporate each character, so each character has their own beat. And I'll usually put together what's called a select reel of all the really cool moves and everything else, and I'll show that to him. And then Ryan will look through it and give us his notes, and he'll say, I really like that move, but I want this character to do it. So early on, we have an idea, a general idea of what the fight's gonna be now. And when you take that and then look at the script, completely different thing. Because it ties in your area that you're working in, it ties in how the sets are built, it ties in what the director wants. Then on Sinners, you bring Michael B into it, ties in what he can and can't do. He'll tell us, hey, this spinning back kick or this punch, I'd rather throw it right-handed, or I can do this hip throw better than I can do that. So you work all that into it, and it comes out to be the fight that the director wants to see, not necessarily going what the script was saying, but it works all around for location, for stunts, for actors, for the director.
And then how is it working with Paul on One Battle After Another? You've got Leonardo falling from a building. There's that beautiful skateboarder scene. And then, oh my God, the car chases.
Paul's horrible. It's actually easier working with a writer-director for me because they're very clear on their vision and what they want. So Paul, we talk about ideas for car chases, for the rooftop jump, for all these things. And what's helpful is he's very clear. He has a certain vision, certain look, and a style. And then we reference past movies or something that hasn't been done before. We take out little matchbox cars, or we talk about the rooftop jump. And then once he has an idea and we maybe shoot a little previs of it and we get what he wants, that's where we add a little bit more. Like everyone has been asking me, how did you do Leo jumping off the roof and landing on the ground and doing this? That was something that just from years of experience of having mentors like this, we are able to, layer in and stitch a few things together that, maybe Paul or hasn't done before in others movies, but we have, and it just helped enhance his vision. And that's the real fun part for me is any director you work with, they become a kid on set. When they're invested and they see what they wrote finally come to fruition, that's fun.
I understand French Connection was a big inspiration for him as far as like stunt choreography. Could you tell us more?
Well, I think it's more about the look for him, right? Is what the camera sees, what the lens sees, and putting the audience in the moment. And that movie is just so iconic, and so it's just how he captures that. And he has a very unique way and a very unique brain on capturing action. And so divulging into that and taking ourselves out of what I would say is like a huge, stunt movie, like a Fast and Furious movie. Take yourself out of that and put yourself into a more realistic feeling, and that's his style, which is fun. Yeah.
The car running off the road. I just thought of that.
That still hurts.
Is that is that an entire day? Is that 2 days of a shoot?
We rehearsed that. So we worked closely with the special effects. Again, it was all based on Paul's vision, right? And what he wanted to see. That car's going 90 miles an hour off he wanted that really steep cliff. So we looked at it, and realistically, can you drive that? Can you do that? And once we get out on location, we look at it, and that might be a one take, and that's it. So we work closely with our special effects team and our camera operators. We all got out there ahead of time, and that is a remote-driven car. So it is driven by a special effects coordinator, Jeremy, who did an amazing job, and they have to have a signal. But what you don't see is the actor sitting in the passenger seat or in the driver's seat of the Mustang with a stunt driver blind driving the Mustang right next to that 90-mile-an-hour car with no one in it. Because Paul's vision is he wanted him to turn around, get out, look over while that car is still smoking and everything else, get back in and drive away. So early on, we rehearsed that. I drove next to the car. We had it launch over so we know exactly where it's going to go over, where we can put cameras, where we can safely put the Panavision and everything else in. So it was fun.
Now, there's that moment in Sinners where the vampires enter the juke joint. You've got several different fights going on. How do you coordinate all that?
Yeah, what we do is once we knew our location in the juke joint, and we had a size for it, we went to a rehearsal area. It was just a big warehouse, and we built boxes as the perimeter and boxes as any table that was there, and we started breaking it down into per character. So we would do the Michael B piece where he goes all the way through. Then we do each other person's piece until we figured those out. So by breaking it down like that, you could concentrate on that actor's fight and get it really pristine and broken out so actor feels comfortable about it, the stunt people know it. Then you start working together as a team, because now you've got to have all these things happening in a timeline, especially with Michael B. When he's fighting the guys that are coming in, he's got to go fight somebody else, come back over to this fight, help another guy. So now you got to time all that out. Everybody knows their specific fights, but now you got to put it to timing. So we had vampires going to certain people. We had to change it up a bit because it would leave other actors with egg on their face, nothing to do. We added in some gunfire just to have them busy so we could work it over to the other side. And it's just it's a give and take of working it. Once you've worked out all the beats, now you just work out the timing. Once we worked out the timing and Ryan saw it, he put a couple of little adjustments in there, and then we were good to go.
Can you tell us about Jack O'Connell's bad guy flying and staging that?
Yeah, Jack O'Connell, he's a fun guy. He's a lot of fun. He jumps off of the upper portion of the barn, flies across and grabs our hero. And so Ryan, like 90% of the stuff Ryan does, he wanted it as practical as we could do it. He doesn't want to go into CGI when he doesn't have to. He wants to do everything practical. So he said, I said, do you just want to have him start to move, then it's a CGI takeover? He goes, absolutely not. If you can do it, and let me look at it. But I really want it as practical. So, okay, all right. So we did a rig out there and flew him, I think it's probably 70 feet across the air, landed him behind our actor, and as he lands, he grabs him and turns him around. And Jack did the flight, but not the landing. And after we did it a couple of times, he said, I want to do the landing. I can do this. And we did it with him, and he did perfect. He landed, grabbed him by the shoulder, turned him around, and it's all just a nice, easy hand pull rig. It didn't have ratchets in it, didn't have anything else. The riggers did a really good job building it and getting the right pick points and everything else. And made it, because I said, he's going to want Jack on this thing, because I can tell you right now, he's not going to want to shoot around a double. And so they made it safe enough that we could put Jack on it. And after a bunch of rehearsals and everything else, we rehearsed him, and he said, I can do this. I want to do the whole thing. So we did it. We did it with the double first, got it on film, and then we worked Jack into it, doing his flight so he could get some tighter shots. Then we went to the wide with Jack, and he did the whole thing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, when stunt coordinators are evaluating a great stunt, from a regular moviegoer's perspective, the more death-defying, the more spectacle it is for us. But is that how do you guys assess things? Is it the same criteria, or are there nuances and other things that you notice and how something is staged?
For me, it's the nuances. I mean, everybody can go bigger, better, badder, bigger explosions, jump a car further, turn it over more times. But what I like is when you see in a sequence, either a fight sequence or a car sequence or anything, where all these different things have to come together at the right time to make that sequence work. And especially with car work. I mean, a lot of times on Fast, we'll have 12 cars all crashing at different times, but all in the same shot. So if one thing goes wrong, then your shot's ruined. So you rehearse it. You do a lot of timing runs. You start out with the little matchbox cars or work your way up to just what I call a walkthrough, which is just driving your cars at 5 miles an hour so everybody knows where they have to be at what time. Camera knows where it has to be. Drone knows where it has to be. Then you'll do a half speed. And if the half speed goes good, then what we usually do is what I call a three-quarter speed. And we'll go through it, but not do the crashes and the hits. Now, drone knows kind of the speed. Camera on the ground knows the speed. All the players have done it multiple times. Time to shoot it. Then you do this one big master shot of a lot of stuff happening, and when it works, it's a pretty incredible feeling. It's cool.
What makes a great stunt for you? What things do you look at?
I think I'll quote Adam Sumner, the script, the script, the script. For me as an audience member, when I read the script for the first time, I first highlight all the action. Then I'll go back and actually read it as if I was sitting watching the movie and I can visually see the movie. And then when you have conversations with your director and the DP, you start picking apart his painting, like how he wants to paint that picture, right? How can we help the audience be vested into what he's doing, right? And so for me, it's fooling the audience that the actor did everything, or he did do everything because we trained them the right way. And also picking little moments that maybe just helped enhance his vision that he didn't know that was possible to do. So that's the fun part.
Excellent. Deadline Stunt Coordinator panel here at Contenders. Brian Machleit from One Battle After Another. Andy Gill from Sinners.